Thanks everybody for being here on April's first Home IQ Ambassador Strategy Call. We are so excited to be with you this month and just share some updates and hear from you guys. I know there's several of you on the call that have either have something to share or some wins from the last month. So we'd love to just kind of kick this off by hearing from you guys. Actually, first I want to highlight some new ambassadors. I don't know if we've got any new people. I think I saw Marlene on the call. Oh,
Jessica's
Jessica.
on the call.
Yeah, Jessica. So we've got several. Dino has been a long time coming. He talked about being an ambassador a long time ago, so I was excited to see Dino come through. Chris, Danny, welcome everybody, and we're so excited to have you part of the mission. I'd love to hear from Jessica or Marlene or both of you, kind of what brought you to the mission and what makes you interested in being part of the program. Marlene, you want to kick us off?
Sure, I'll go first. I'm super passionate about teaching people about the mortgage process. I've already volunteered at high schools and taught classes on credit. So it just makes perfect sense for me to be in a community of like-minded people.
That's awesome. Jessica.
So I've been in the mortgage business for 25 years now, but always on the operations side. And part of what made me jump to becoming a loan officer is I just felt like clients were asking the same questions over and over again. And there didn't seem to be a lot of education that was happening on the side of the loan officers. And I just really saw that as a problem. And so from day one of getting my license in 2025, I set out to make it my mission to answer all those questions for the borrowers that they constantly are asking, and then also make sure that they have the tools that they need to become to have financial literacy. And so when my branch manager or my regional manager, Aaron Leck, introduced me to Kristen, and I just fell in love. I just was like, this program was designed for me. So I have been going through all the training modules. I had a little login issue though, because I think what happened is signed up for Go Coaching, which is also on Circle. And so now my login's all messed up, but I'm hoping to get back into there soon so then I can finish up the tutoring and start implementing the things that I'm learning.
That's awesome. So, what's cool about Go Coaching being on Circle is that you can flip back and forth between the platforms. So once that is resolved, I don't know what's going on there, but you can then on the left side, you just like pick your community. So,
And
that'll.
and also modern mortgage IQ is also in Circle. And so you can literally have multiple communities that you manage, which is pretty powerful.
Well, it's so awesome to hear your passion for this and both of you for, sharing your passion for education. We're really excited to have you part of it. So that's kind of a good segue into talking about wins this month. We'd love to hear from you guys what conversations you've had or if you've had a presentation, and would love to, yeah, just have you share with the group. Walt, I think you have had a presentation. Where did Walt go? Oh, I thought I saw Walt in here. But yeah, I know.
Walt's here. Can you
Oh,
unmute
okay.
Walt?
Oh, there you are. Just didn't see.
At least on my screen, I'm right next to you.
Yeah, there you are. It's just missed you.
So,
Yeah, did you have a presentation?
well, I'll just share. I mean, I shared a couple weeks ago. A couple of you Memo heard and Jessica heard, but I've taken the class. I've done the first three classes now, and I've done the first three classes with a realtor, and then the presentation goes out. We just did it via Zoom, and we sent the presentation out to the realtor. I've done the first two classes with an insurance agent, has 2,000 clients. He sent those out to his clients as well. And then I just did the first class to all of my past clients, clients under management, and sent that out to my clients. And I've teamed up with a landlord, and we keep getting pushed off because they're not getting the messaging out quick enough. But we've got they've got about 6,000 rentals, so probably 10,000 clients overall, maybe 11,000 clients overall. That on May 21st, we're going to start doing the classes to all of their renters. So, so that's what I've been doing with the classes, and it's been real successful. And I've got a couple of realtors right now that are looking at wanting to do the classes. This is new, wanting to do the classes with certain businesses that they've been affiliated with and stuff. So.
Cool. That's so exciting. Well, as you're going through that, if there's things that you're like, oh, this would be helpful, for this type of audience, don't feel, don't hesitate to reach out about that. That's
And real quick, I wanted to just say something after that story. I interviewed Jason Mitchell, who's the number one realtor in America yesterday, and we were talking, how to future proof, how to Amazon proof, how to, you know, rocket proof a mortgage career. And he was really leaning in to like, hey, you have to win your database and you have to win your zip code. And one of the things he said as it turns to like winning your zip code and winning your city is having strategic partnerships with, apartment units, having strategic partnerships with companies. I see Scott Davis on here. That's something Scott has executed. But guys, like if you want to rocket proof your mortgage, like that's another reason to be part of this community and you want to win your zip code, win your city. And one of the ways you win your city is be involved in nonprofits. And what better nonprofit than to be involved in a nonprofit that helps realtors sell more homes and helps loan officers do more loans. So anyways, I'll put a link to that interview in chat, and I would recommend that this whole group checks that out. And by the way, I asked him a question like, hey, if you were a first home IQ ambassador, how would you do blank? And we got some advice from the number one realtor in America.
Memo, I heard that you hosted a realtor event. Do you want to share with us how that went?
Yeah, hi everybody. Nice to be here. My event went pretty well. It was I had Anthony Young come and speak for a group of 60 realtors. I had no idea that there were 60 realtors in my radius, so that was pretty good. But it was more geared towards the event for the speaker. But I don't know, it was probably a week or two before when I decided I'm gonna take the jump. Like you said, Dino has been saying he's gonna do it for a while, and I was saying the same thing, so I finally did it. So I announced in that group a little bit about First Home IQ and my ambassadorship, and then the event went really well. I got to talk to a lot of people. I didn't get a lot of quizzes done, but I did talk to some people about it afterwards. So there was a group of realtors that came from the neighboring county that we're in talks right now of me going over there and maybe talking to them about a few things, including First Home IQ and how they can, have an impact on the next generation. But it went well. The feedback was great. Anthony Young, never had him as a speaker in a local place. He's a great person, and everybody afterwards was asking, hey, is he going to give us the transcript of what he said and all this other stuff? So it was a really good event overall. So I'm super pleased with it.
I
And
think I think we had Anthony Young as a speaker at the Modern Real Estate Summit last year.
yeah, Dave. So it was not this one that just passed, but the previous one, and that's how we got hooked up with him. Is from that event. One of my realtor partners said, I really like the way he delivered his message. So she started following him. She started emailing him. She's actually sent him a couple of appraisals for him to go over. And so ever since then, we've been trying to get him over here. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm in Ukiah, California, which is kind of in the sticks. And for him to come over here was really cool because it's not like he can fly a plane in here, he's got to drive all the way over here. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the event that triggered that.
We should get him as an ambassador. I just put a link to him on Instagram. I do recommend folks follow him. He's super sharp, and I think we should get him in here. You should refer him to Kristen and I, you know?
Yeah, we'll do.
We had a really great question from Ron. Has anyone recorded an example or a training on how to have an opening or introductory conversation with schools, organizations, and or businesses, HR departments? I think those are probably two different conversations, and I would love to have an interview, host an interview or series of interviews on this topic. So if any of you on this call or watching this call later have had those introductory conversations with HR departments, worked with businesses, or going into schools, let me know and let's have a conversation, whether we record something or take down some notes. We do have a template for reaching out to schools, and I'll share that with you guys. But it's mainly like the email script, for a first outreach, text copy, that kind of thing, and kind of who to reach out to at those schools. So that could be helpful, but I think probably hearing some examples, and then I love the HR department angle. That's something we haven't explored, but a lot of people have talked about. So yeah, I'm just putting it out there. Let's expand on that. And I wanted to share with you guys an update. It's not quite done. It will be done by the end of the day, but we have updated our resource library so that we'll always have our monthly challenge pinned to the top, but then below here, it's just going to, go straight to like whatever area. If you wanted to focus on the quiz or emails, you've got your like a quick access to the email campaigns and the sequences, and some additional resources. So we put in like master classes that were related to that. I think the school outreach one, yeah, I haven't finished that one yet, but we'll put in there's a presentation for educators and a kind of a template thing that I was talking about. But this masterclass we did with Dan Keller could be relevant too, specifically on teaching a college class that would be good for business development. So thanks for asking that question, and I'll grab that as well. Oh, and we merged the marketing course and the onboarding course. So any of the content, if you guys have gone through the marketing course, that's now all in the onboarding course as well. Okay. Feel free to continue to drop your questions. Oh, I also want to let you guys, or just remind you, we did away with the announcement section because we felt like we didn't need that, but the ask and share, if you guys have things that come up where you're like, hey, like Walt was sharing this, this event that he was just talking about, we would love to hear from you guys more, and we'll talk about a survey that we're putting out there right now, but drop those examples of even like a conversation you had or a question you have or an idea you have. This is just a great way for us to hear from each other. So I want to promote that channel here.
Yeah. Also, guys, we recently added an AI guide to Modern Mortgage IQ, and that's I don't know, a sister or brother community. You could get, I think there's some type of a discount for everyone, but you guys can also get a 10-day free trial. But I just typed in, what is the best way to promote the First Home IQ quiz? And it will actually give you scripts and give you strategies. I was shocked, Kristen. I was playing with it this morning, asking it a lot of First Home IQ stuff. I'm sure at some point maybe we'll get something like that in the First Home IQ community, but it's amazing at how helpful it is.
Yeah, Katie has been doing a ton of work on AI, developing AI bots and guides that she's going to provide to the ambassador community. So that will be coming up. I'm trying to convince her to do a masterclass on this, but she's we'll see. So I think that would she has a ton of content coming. So that'll be a thing that probably by the next ambassador session we have all of that ready.
And do me a favor, guys, as many of you as possible, put in chat what AI do you use? And if you use it daily, like, oh, I use such and such daily. And by the way, if you don't use AI, just say, I don't use it. But it would be great to just know what are you using? Like I use Perplexity every day, and I use Chat GPT a lot. Uh, and now I'm using a new platform called Hoozy, which is also a partner of ours. I'm going to put a link for anyone who wants to learn about it, but it uses Chat GPT, it uses Gemini, it uses lots of different languages, and it's designed to be an AI assistant for realtor. So I'll put that in here. So by the way, this is great feedback. So very, very interesting. Thank you guys for whoever participated.
Chris, you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, this is more for Dave. The more modern mortgage IQ, that's a completely separate platform than this, separate page, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that is a platform where the 6 years of the Modern Mortgage Summit and the Modern Real Estate Summit are all broken up, edited. There's coaching notes under each one of them so that, you know, whether you're trying to use it with realtors, there's coaching notes, or using it to upgrade loan officers, there's coaching notes. And it's all about modernizing mortgage advisors. Like,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, no problem.
And we will send out a discount code for everybody that are ambassadors if you want to participate in the Modern Mortgage IQ platform. And there's a what's it called, trial period as well. So, great. Okay, so yeah, Katie's got some guide coming out that will guide you through starting with AI. So for people like Scott and others who are just getting started, that's going to be super helpful. I'm also going through it, and I've been using ChatGPT relentlessly every day, and it's guiding me through some really cool exercises. So that is fun to come. All right. So I've made this announcement, I think already on our last call, but I did want to just highlight this again that we have developed a partnership with Student Paths or My Student Path, and it's an organization that's going to, like last year we were able to get to teach 1,000 students over the past year through the ambassador program and through some partnerships, which was really awesome. This year through this partnership, we're jumping up to 40,000 students and teachers. So huge win. And I know I said this last time, but this is you guys winning as part of this. So please share the impact with others, share whenever you guys are doing a presentation with realtor partners and you're talking about First Home IQ, you can say, hey, this year we're able to impact or, get our curriculum in the hands of 40,000 students and teachers. And just so that you guys know, we do have a free resource library for teachers that includes these, I don't know why it's not shown. Okay. We have lesson plans that for every activity. They've got the lesson plan, activity, worksheets, presentations. It's ideal if someone will partner, like if an ambassador partners with a school to help them deliver that or at least be a guest speaker. But that is a great platform for also just providing those resources. So. And you guys are making all of that possible through your ambassador fees. So just, again, you're part of making that impact a reality. So. Okay, so we will be having some updates to our First Home IQ quiz page soon, at least this quarter. So we've had Jordan and Michael remain up here at the top, but Dave is in the top 3 of the quiz contributors and respondents. So we will be making some updates, but if you guys have any feedback or ideas around what you'd like to see on your landing page, we probably won't make a ton of changes to the actual quiz questions other than potentially making, framing it a little bit differently. And so, but feel free to share that input, and we'd love to hear from you guys as we make those changes. And okay, how many well, great question. How can you tell how many quizzes have been done on your site? You should be getting an email every time someone completes a quiz. But once you hit over 25 quizzes, we make a sheet for you that will track all of those quiz responses. I do think that it's a great idea to in the future for us to make changes around that so that you can more easily access those responses, or we don't have a limitation around it. So that's something that we can improve on in this next iteration. But also, if you have questions, you can always just ask us and we'll check for you. So. Okay, so our last masterclass was on student loans. And so if you want to access that recording, that is in the platform. Next masterclass, we're really excited about having, I don't know how to say his last name. I've seen interviews with him and I forgot, but what's his last name, Dave?
Gerke. Bruce Gerke.
Dave has interviewed him, and I am just so I've chatted with him. Super excited to have him. Dave, anything you want to share on that?
Yeah, so I mean, guys, this is the head of lender intelligence for JD Powers, and JD Powers, like for lenders to even have a JD Powers relationship, I mean, it's over $100,000 a year. So you're getting access to someone that, you know, is at the highest level of what consumers' expectations are, what consumers want and expect. And we're getting it from the guy who leads the mortgage intelligence platform. I mean, he's involved in like what questions are we going to ask this year and what are the findings? And so the interview I did, I'll share that in chat in a minute. I would recommend everybody in mortgage and housing because it really is being reimagined. I mean, what's happened? You know, the moves that Rocket's made. While that is really big news, it will not be the last big news story of the year. You know, we're seeing, you know, these from click to final payment homeownership platforms, national platforms come into play. And so I'm sure we're going to hear big news from Zillow this year on acquisitions that they're going to make, some things that we just haven't thought of that are going to come out of nowhere. But most of the people that are part of this community, you're local and you want to win locally. So having a guy like Bruce come in and talk to us, you know, he knows what First Home IQ is. He knows the mission we're on. He knows that we want to win locally. I mean, it's a real treat. I mean, it would cost thousands of dollars to have consulting like this, and we're going to have this guy leaning into us.
Yeah, I am just so excited. So Katie, do you want to talk about the monthly challenge? I know we launched it. We've had a couple people complete the challenge, but this is really gathering stories that I think are going to be really impactful for First Home IQ and our mission. And of course, I think really insightful. So, but Katie, I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, so this challenge was really inspired on a conversation on a previous mastermind with Deborah and Dave and Kristen, where we were talking about understanding your first-time home buyers and their age. Like, how many of you have had a first-time home buyer that's under 38 that you've helped? Like Memo is on the call, and he had a first-time home buyer that was 19 that he recently helped. And I think 24 or 27, if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, this challenge is encouraging you guys to look at the last 12 to 18 months of your closed loans. Who have you helped that's in that kind of 20 to 30-year-old bracket? And then contacting them and asking them like, hey, would you be willing for me can we just have a conversation? I'd love to record this just to take some notes, but can we have a conversation and understand, like, I'd love to know what was your process? What were some of your hurdles? And how did what made you want to buy a home? So that you can then share that story. It's really about just getting more inspiring homeownership stories out there. And there's lots of ways that you can leverage that through text messaging, sending it to your agents, putting it in email, putting it on social media. But the whole goal really is just to share these impactful stories, and people are more inclined to listen if they're hearing it from their peers than they are just to, word vomit. So that is the goal for this month.
Yeah, and I want you guys to think about it this way: like the race for home ownership really starts at the age of 18, because that's when you can start screwing up your credit. and boy, the way I got the Sears card, I racked it up. And so many people in America, they're like going backwards for the first 5 years. And so that's when the race starts. And right now we know in America, the average age of when the race ends for first-time home ownership is 38. It's 2 decades. And so I think every time that, and we really know that the lowest it's ever been is I think 28 was the average age in America. I think for the past decade, it's been in the 32, 33 range. So really, every time someone beats the average, they get into home ownership in their 20s, like that's a celebration. That's a celebration for that individual. That's a celebration for that family. That's a celebration for that community. So I just can't emphasize enough, like every time we do a loan and they're in their 20s, like every first-time home buyer is a celebration, but that is an even bigger celebration, and that is our mission, guys. So I think it's just important to remember that and share those stories. In fact, I would love Scott Davis did a post where he did a post on social media, and he actually kind of celebrated all of his first-time home buyers, and he put an age next to him. And I was really surprised, Scott, just how many people you had in their 20s achieve homeownership. Do you remember what percentage of your home buyers last year were in their 20s?
I don't. But it's easy for me to. I didn't run that percentage. But no, I don't know.
Well, it was more than 50. Like, would you agree that it was like 60, 70% were in their 20s?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, keep in mind, I mean, if there's a husband and wife together or partners together, I mean, that counts as two. And
right.
One of the interesting comments I got back on that post, which I've carried with me, and is that someone commented, "You're never too young or too old to invest in your future," and I kind of like that mantra.
Love that.
And not that it's anti-20-year-olds, but I mean, you're never too old either, and that I think that there's a celebration there too.
Well, I think that's another really important point you made. Like, well, First Home IQ, we made it, and the content is created for Gen Z. This content is just as good at any age. I mean, this is a first-time home buyer platform and a first-time home buyer mission that we're on. We just happen to think that the tip and the tail, like the tip is 16, where people start developing that money personality. We just happen to be going younger in a tip to tail first-time homebuyer platform, where most first-time home platforms are designed for the 30-year-old. We're going tip to tail on it.
So we've had a few conversations going in the chat. One about what questions to ask. Thanks, Chris, for asking that on the on the monthly challenge. Katie put together a guide, and I did drop that in the chat, and it's also in the monthly challenge post. But there's some questions in there. You definitely can customize this however you want to. But the idea is to hear from them, to ask some questions about what their experience was like. So anything else you'd add to that, Katie?
No, I think just to schedule it. I mean, just, go through your database, and, they're really fun conversations to have, really easy. If you guys do have those conversations and you get them recorded and you need help putting that into a video or something, send that to our team. We'd definitely be happy to help, put that. The biggest thing is we want to make sure that we have their permission if you're going to share it on social media. But if you guys do have the raw recording, we'll even help you put some video together for social.
I think one of our first conversations that Katie and I ever had was when I was doing these interviews, and she had recently bought a home. And so I interviewed her. But those are fun conversations to have. So,
hey, real quick, I just got a text from Joe Soto, who was bummed that he couldn't be here. He's one of our top donors and very active advocate. He actually was the one who helped us get into the New York school program in Brooklyn. But he just said, I met with a guy who runs the real estate department at Irvine Valley College. It's a community college locally, and I'm gonna be speaking to his class a couple times a semester. So, little FYI, give Joe Soto, anybody who knows Joe, give him a text. Hopefully, he'll be here next time. But there's a story and a strategy from Joe Soto, virtually via text.
That's awesome. So we had another question around the First Home IQ store and merch and things like that. It's great timing because I'm about to make a couple updates to that store today. So I wasn't gonna mention it, but anyway, the store, firsthomeIQ.com/store, you can access t-shirts,
Do we have black t-shirts yet?
that's the change I'm making just for you. You and
Wait a minute. It's not just for me. Who else
I
wants a
know.
black
Ron
t-shirt?
wants one. And also everybody wants one. I don't know how I didn't add black before, but anyway, whatever. So we will have black, oh, whatever. We'll have black t-shirts and we'll have and you can access, the other notebooks and things like that. And if you come to an event like the mastermind, then we'll have some t-shirts there. So okay. Any other questions before we I want to share with you guys the survey that we're asking you guys to do, but is there any other topic that you guys want to cover or strategy that you're working on that you'd like to talk about as a group?
I have a thought. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was thinking about doing bridal shows. What do you think?
Ooh, love that idea. Has anyone here done that?
I have a comment.
Yes.
You don't want to do bridal shows.
No?
Nope. You want to
Why?
do mommy and me shows. I've done bridal shows. All they're worried about is their wedding, that you are annoying to them. Mommy and me shows, they're nesting. They're getting ready to they're having a baby. They want to get everything. They want to be in there. They're starting to think about homes. I've done 2 or 3 bridal shows. The first one, I thought
Okay.
it was like, maybe this is a bad day. No, I've done 2 or 3 with realtors, and they do not want to come to your table.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
I would have thought that would be a great audience.
Yep. But I've tried it, and it's not. Baby and me.
Okay.
Baby and me
All
is
right.
much better. You get people are not in such a big fat rush. They want to hear what you have to say. You should have something to give away,
Mhm.
I know we've done I forget what they're called, like the swaddle things,
Mhm.
as like a giveaway, but I always do them with realtors, and the baby and me ones are much better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't want you to waste your time on that.
Yeah.
Scott?
Great thoughts. Thank you.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, Kristen, just thought I would show you my black tee.
Where are all these black t-shirts coming from?
So Ron Stowers, one of our founder friends, and David King, who actually did this design, they knew how bad I wanted it, and they just sent them to me as a present.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
That's awesome.
Uh, so sorry guys, I got the first black tee. Who's next?
Scott.
so Dave, when we talk about percentages, I'm going to go back and look at that for how many in their 20s. But the percentages I did run for both 2023 and 2024 were that the files or the transactions that I did that had gift funds were between 30 and 35% of the deals I did.
Wow.
And so I've used that as some entrees into this as well. Because I do, and I know I brought it before, but I think there is also a big marketing play on marketing kind of top down. So, marketing to parents and grandparents. Have you thought about helping your kids, and, putting that bug in their ear to buy a house versus them coming to you? And, but anyway, just the high percentage of gift funds leads into that as well.
Yeah, that's another thing, everyone, is that it would be really good for us to start tracking that as a movement. Like, what percentage of the first time home buyers, first of all, are in their 20s. Let's celebrate that. Remember, that's our goal. Like our goal is to move that needle from 38 down. And so that's part of the mission and a measurable that we're trying to drive as a movement. And then what percentage of gift funds? And then to Scott's whole point, that's just a case to be marketing to your database and educating your database. And I do propose that when you do that, you do a combination of, hey, because people have equity, you can help, but also be promoting down payment resources. That's another important partner of ours that whether families can help financially, they can help educationally. And that's by getting their students into this platform and creating awareness around down payment assistance resources.
One other stat now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm going to go back and look to see what my average first-time homebuyer is or was, because I think again, hey, the average first-time homebuyer is 38, but my average first-time homebuyer is probably less than that, younger than that, and I think that, and then tie that into first home IQ, which while we can have our own stats, which are better than national average too.
Yeah. By the way, Scott, that would be a great way to promote yourself
Yeah.
in a community leader is, hey, I'm the guy that one, I'm this first home IQ ambassador, and two, I am helping families getting their kids into homeownership younger. By the way, I just found out, I don't see David King on here, but he just texted me back, said we're on the call right now. Uh, oh, oh yeah, where are you guys? I don't see you here.
I don't.
Well, somehow they're Kristen, we got to find out these guys are undercover. They're on our call right now.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, I think they're on a call with each other.
Oh.
So,
I was like, I don't think they're in here.
well, I just said, anyways.
They should, yeah, they should join though. Um, so what was I going to say about that? Oh, I don't remember, but okay, yeah, if you guys gather any kind of data, oh, I know, we have an email campaign in the email section of our resource library that is specifically targeting parents. So if you guys are interested in going that route, we have a lot of resources around that, a masterclass from Tim Brahim talking about that. So there's some things that I think could support digging into that angle. And we'd love to hear from you how that's going and support you, which leads me to another reminder of the office hours. So if you guys have a specific strategy you're working on, let's say you want to go after, do a series for parents or an email campaign targeting parents, then this would be a great place to meet and discuss that. Katie's on this office hours for a full hour. You can drop in, drop out, discuss an idea or it's a strategy, and she'll help you build that out. So this is super, super valuable. It's the first and third Wednesday of every month, and you can access that in the platform. You go to the ambassador events and you can RSVP there. And yeah, or reach out and we can get you that info. And then lastly, wanted to share with you guys a survey. So we're asking everybody to complete a just 2-minute survey about the program. Even if you've just started, we'd love to hear from you. It's just helpful for us to get your feedback. So I will drop the link in the chat, and you'll be getting a text about this as well. But just want to hear from you, make sure we're making changes that are supporting you, and that we're growing this together. From the very beginning, this has been built everything based off of ambassadors sharing their feedback and their voice about what matters to you guys to help you become the educational community leaders in your market. So we want to continue with that. And yeah, Alex has dropped that survey link in the chat.
And Katie, do we know how many people have filled that out so far? And
yeah, last I checked, we were at like 10, so not nearly enough. We've emailed and done text. We'll do some more, but if you guys could fill it out, it would so help us.
Well, and here's my ask, like whether you're watching the recording or you're on it, like if you don't do it, like right after this call, every hour that you don't do it, the chances that you're going to do it drastically go down. And if you don't do it today, it's done. You let's trust it. You will not do it. So that's the push. And I did it, and it
It's like
literally,
2 minutes. It's not
yeah,
long.
yeah. I mean, I actually think I was on a call while I did it. So I was even not pushing anybody to multitask like me, but please do it, because Kristen, what she said, she really means. Like everything this mission is about, it's created by you guys. And so we can't execute well on that if we don't get thoughtful feedback from you.
Okay, well, I think that covers everything that we wanted to make sure we discussed today. Any other questions or thoughts? All right, thank you guys so much for being part of this, and we have a lot of exciting stuff coming out over the next couple months, so stay tuned. I would love to hear from you guys as you are working on projects, and again, thanks for being here today.
Hey, real quick before we're over, one other thought and idea is just to refer someone to become an ambassador. Think of someone that you know, whether they're in your market or another market, and introduce them to Kristen. Like we need more ambassadors. We need ambassadors to be more engaged. So please refer someone to Kristen this month too.
And
All
we'll
right.
send you free merch if you refer people.
Ooh, black shirts, free black shirt. All right.
Thanks,
That's
Take
how
care,
we'll
everybody.
know. That's how we'll know who's wearing a black shirt, because you're referring.
Yeah.
So only people who give referrals get black shirts. We need to, I'm just kidding.
The cool kids
Take care,
club.
everybody.
All right, bye.